I'm going to say this gently. You've been off your game for too long. You literally know what to do. You know that you can do it, but there's a disconnect. I'm here so that we can get from point A to point B. In this video, we're going to talk about where we currently are, as good, bad, or ugly as it may be. We're going to talk about what we did to get here, and then we're going to visualize where we want to be and how we're going to get there. So if that's something that interests you, if you're interested in saving a half-wasted year, if you want to make the most of the last 6 months of 2024, this is the video for you. Hey y'all, it's Christelle. I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. If you know me, you know I love a good reset. I love a good motivational chit chat, but I want us to be so for real for 1 second, okay? Like, I've been avoiding doing the work because I'm not happy with where I am. It's almost like a cycle of like, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but I don't want to analyze where I currently am. I just don't want to think about it too much. Like, it's been a lot, and I'm going to give myself grace for that. But on the topic of that, I feel like I've given myself too much grace. And it's like, I have to be careful with my words because I'm not saying that you shouldn't give yourself grace. I'm just saying that if you're giving yourself so much grace that you forget to apply a little bit of pressure, you're kidding yourself. I've been kidding myself. I didn't want to reflect because I knew I haven't been doing the work to get to where I want to be. So in this video, we're going to be for real. I'm really talking to myself. Know that everything I'm saying with love. And by no means do I have it all together, but I want us to have ourselves together. Especially at this point where it's like a turning point in the year. I feel like, what's stopping you? Like, get back on it now. Okay, so I have not been on my Zoom. I have not been clocking in at 10 every day. I have been sleeping late. I have not been doing my affirmations. I've been doing like my daily devotionals, but I could do more. I could spend more time with God. Like, I've been acting like I expect to fail. And that's really scary because I'm someone who succeeds. I'm someone who puts myself out there. I'm someone who is a goal-getter and a go-getter. So this era is done. I wasn't even gonna make this video because I was so embarrassed about my lack of progress, because I'm going to tell you something. If you feel like your goals have been neglected, who do you think has been doing the neglecting? Walk with me. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Like, I have been embarrassed by my lack of progress. I've been making a lot of progress in a lot of areas, but in other areas, it hasn't been that much because I haven't been doing what I said I was gonna do. I haven't been keeping the promises to myself, and because of that, I'm not where I wanna be, which is why I didn't want to reflect. I didn't want to look and see like, okay, what can I do better? All of that is cut. We have to see where we are, okay? So on the agenda today, like I said, we're going to start off with reflection. I want better for myself. If you're watching this, you probably want better for yourself, but it's like, are you acting like you want better for yourself? Are you doing what you know you need to do? And that's something to think about. So let's hold ourselves accountable. Let's take a look in the mirror. Let's acknowledge our part in where we are. But the good news is where we are is temporary. It's the baseline, it's the beginning, it's the before. And you know, the worse off you are, honestly, the better the story. Think about your favorite movie, your TV show, or book. Like, there's no good story without conflict, without an underdog, without like the bounce back. You have to have a setback. That's the catch. That's the catch. If you want that bounce back, that comeback, unfortunately what precedes that is the setback. So if you're in a setback season, if you're in a down bad season, if you're like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm tired of my own just like negligence, for lack of a better word, then let's get into it. When you're going through something mentally, and by no means am I professional, but when you're going through things mentally, it's hard to do the basics, much less everything on top of the basics to improve yourself. So I want to acknowledge anybody who's been really struggling. I pray that you find peace, that you find joy, see the people that you need to see, get the help you need, and when you're ready and able to pour back into your cup, we'll be waiting for you. But if you're ready, if you've been down and out long enough and you're ready to get back up again, this is the video for you. Like, we're gonna start. The first step is to reflect. Not everything is in your control. The things that are out of your control, if you're worried about the things that are out of your control, you're just making yourself feel worse. Release control of the outcome. And this is so funny because I feel like in this video you might hear a few cliches, but we're gonna have to take the label of cliche off of them because they're right. We'll get into that later, but I'm just here to say that, like, you can't control everything, but what you can control is what's gonna get you unstuck. And how you get unstuck is to reflect and to really take a deep dive into where you are now. Step one. First step reflection, you want to approach this from a place of gentleness, of love, of positivity. Like, I don't want you to reflect and be like, oh, I'm the worst and this is what I haven't been doing. Like, in your reflection, you might be pleasantly surprised at the things you have made progress in, or the goals that you need to adjust because you've already hit them. Like, be open to the possibility that you're doing better than you think you are. Like, we get so like, oh, I'm not doing this enough, I'm not where I want to be, but you have accomplished some things. You are. The fact that you're even watching this video, like, you're getting back into the swing of things. You want to do better. You are getting better. So give yourself some love and some appreciation and some grace for that. How I like to reflect, I'm super type A. I have a PowerPoint that I made in Canva. Similar, like, I'm a Spotify supremacist. So you know how they do Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year? I made like a 2023 wrap last year. And it was amazing, but it was so much work at the end of the year. So this year, every month, I have a slide that has, you know, the month, some pictures from the month, my top 3 like standout moments or goals, like how many workouts I did, and then I write a paragraph to reflect on the month. You don't have to do all that. Maybe your reflection is just going through your camera roll, or maybe it's just a little bit of journaling, like just 5 minutes of free journaling, like what you thought about the month. Maybe you just literally just think through the month. Like, I don't know about you, but the days go by really fast, and sometimes I have a really hard time remembering. So writing this down has been really like a beautiful kind of exercise, because it reminds me of like where I am, like what my thought process was like, and I love that I can go back and I can see my growth. So look at, you know, at the beginning of the year, I wrote down my goals. Maybe you had some resolutions, maybe you made a vision board. Like, go back and look at what you made at the beginning of the year and just be like, okay, how do I feel when I look at this? Have I crossed off some things on this list? Do I see myself in this vision board? Like, you know, reflect. It's pretty self-explanatory. Do it to the extent that you want to do it, but make sure you have a good understanding of where you said you wanted to be and where you are. And if there is a incongruency, then we gotta tighten up a little bit. But it's okay, because you're not alone and we're gonna do it together. The second step, and I was going back and forth because I was like, okay, if you reflect, then what? Do you want to immediately get into the doing? But I feel like it's really important to visualize where you want to be. If you haven't already made a vision board, make one. If you have that one and it doesn't really align, like, edit it. If you want to just literally take some time and be like, or just think, y'all, do this exercise with me. Like, close your eyes and think, like, what does my highest self look like? You know, how do they feel mentally, in their mind, in their body, in their spirit? What's their finances? How do they feel? How do they show up? What do they wear? And I might be going off on a little bit of a tangent when I say this, but if it's hard for you to visualize your best self, you might want to take a pause right here and be like, whoa, why is it that I can't imagine my best self? Why is it so hard to imagine yourself with good things? Why is it so hard for you to see yourself out of the storm? Have you become so accustomed to things always being down and out? Have you become so accustomed to being the underdog, the overlooked, the, oh, I'm always working on my goals, I'm never actually getting them? Like, it's more like, if you're so accustomed to it, you might be subconsciously self-sabotaging yourself, because it's easier to stay in the negative. It's easier to stay because it's familiar. You succeeding might actually be a change that you're uncomfortable with. And that's something that is really hard to admit to yourself, because it's like, whoa, everybody's like, oh, I have a fear of failure. I have a fear of failure. Some of us have a fear of success, because what would it mean if I finally lose the weight? What would it mean if I actually do become that creator? What would it mean if I actually scale my business and make this money and can change my life? Like, you say you want to change your life. You do want to change your life, but what does that look like? And are you ready to step into that new era? It'll be different. And I know deep down you want it, but like, if there's any like anxiety or weird feelings there, you might want to take a moment and be like, whoa, affirm yourself. Be like, no, I deserve good things. Blessings are on the way to me. Like, I'm worthy of these things in my current stage. I'm worthy of the blessing in my current stage, you know? But I just wanted to address that, because I know for me sometimes, like, my goals, I feel like some of my goals have been on my list for so long because I can't imagine myself differently. And we have to get out of the habit of that, which is why it's so important to write the thing down. What is it? Write the vision, make it plain, visualize your best self, your highest self. Have the tools, use Pinterest, use Canva, make a vision board. I also make vision boards. If you collect all the pictures, I'll make them for you, quick plug. But I'm just saying, like, you know you've reflected, right? you see what you said you were gonna do, what you actually did, and now it's like you need to make some changes. So make sure you can visualize what those changes are, because if you're just doing things with no vision, from a place of visionlessness, is that even a word? Like, you have to have a vision and stand on it, because it'll keep you inspired. It'll remind you what you're here to do, and it's just nice, because when your vision becomes your reality, it's a beautiful thing. Imagine yourself with your goals all achieved, your dream body, dream home, dream financial situation, dream relationship, dream relationships with your friends, your family, and the romantic partners, whatever the case may be. Like, envision it. Envision yourself on the brand trip, on the brand event. Envision yourself on the billboard. Envision yourself skating. I'm using my goals. Like, envision yourself being so talented at that new skill. Just envision it. And get excited, because it's the fact that you can envision it, your brain doesn't realize like what's a dream from what's reality. So it's like, if you can envision it, you're already halfway there, and that should give you so much excitement. Find some quotes, find some inspiration. You know, what's really like helped me double down on it is finding scripture as well to back it up, because I'm like, you can't argue with him. He did his big one. So I'm like, envision it, back it up with some powerful words, and you're golden. Period. We've talked about reflecting. We've talked about, you know, holding ourselves accountable, addressing the mental and the mindset that might be holding us back. We've visualized our best self. Now let's get into how we're actually gonna get there, because all of this is fine and fun and dandy, but if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not gonna get anywhere. So let's talk about it. One of my favorite creators, Montel B, had this like 12-week year Notion template, and I really liked it because we took a life audit of ourselves, and this is how I like to set goals. Like, you have a whole bunch of categories. I do mind, body, spirit, career, finances, content creation, relationships with family and friends, romantic relationships, hobbies, skills, socializing. Like, you can break it down into however many categories you want. And I liked it because I rated like where I currently am versus where I want to be. But we're gonna talk, we've already visualized, so now we're gonna get into the specific goals. A goal is a dream without a plan. You have the dream, you can visualize it. You have a goal, let's break it down. With your goals, first and foremost, they need to be SMART goals. I'll talk about weight loss, for example. Your goal shouldn't be, I wanna lose weight. That's not a goal. That's a statement of what you want. Your goals need to be specific, they need to be SMART. So instead of, I want to lose weight, it needs to be, I want to lose X amount of pounds by this time because, and this because section is what a lot of people miss. You have to know your why, because not only will your why keep you accountable, keep you motivated, it will really bring it back to like, it's not a goal for fun, it's a goal for something deeper. Like, it's a goal that needs to be achieved, and it'll keep you like on it, you know? You made your goal, it's a SMART goal. It went from a regular goal to a SMART goal. Now let's talk about how we're gonna achieve it. Goals come together because of your strategies, and your strategies are comprised of tactics, okay? The strategy is the overall method, and the tactics are the day-to-day, the weekly things that you can do to make sure you're actually making measurable progress towards the goal. I wanna have 100,000 subscribers. I want that plaque. I would love to have it in 6 months. Now, some people might think that is not realistic. Me personally, I am a big advocate of dreaming big. In this world where your mind can control so much and you can dream of anything, why are you already thinking small in your imagination? The bigger you shoot, the higher you shoot. Like, why would I not shoot beyond the stars? You know what I'm saying? People have gotten 100K in 2 months. People have taken years. I don't know what my story will be, but I would love to have 100K by the end of the year. So I'm gonna make that my goal. I already kind of want to be like, let me bring it down, let me be realistic, let me say 10K, but I could get 10K tomorrow. To me, the slight work, and that's why I want to encourage you to make your goals, but then be a little bit delusional. I know we want to be realistic, but sometimes the key is being a little delusional, because think bigger. Why would you not think bigger? If you had the choice, it's like you're already limiting yourself. The world is gonna do its job and try to limit you. You might have people in your very circle, in your family and your friends, who try to limit you. Why are you limiting yourself? Be your biggest cheerleader. Dream beyond big. Okay, back to the goals. Let's say I want to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year because I love creating content and inspiring people, but also being relatable. In a space like social media where things can be very negative, I am supposed to share love, to share light, and to express my life in a way that is inspirational and relatable to my community. That's my why. That's why I do what I do, and that's what keeps me going. So let's break it down. We have the goal. As for the strategies, I'm gonna break it down to posting consistently, researching like trending topics and just topics in general that I could talk about forever. Presenting value in an aesthetic way, because aesthetics unfortunately do matter, and also maintaining my authenticity. I feel like those are the things that will help me to like stay true to myself while also, you know, standing apart from everyone in this world where everybody wants to be neutral and everybody wants to be as like, you know, just the it girl, like, you know, I'm that girl Christelle, but I'm that girl Christelle in my own way. Those are my strategies. So now to break it down into tactics, and I'm looking over here because I have my notes. I want to be specific for y'all. How I'm going to achieve these things is by setting aside time weekly to batch create. I'm not going to be like, oh, I want a YouTube video to come out this day, so I'm gonna film something 12 hours before, and then I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna edit for 4 hours, and then the same day I'm gonna upload and pub. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm planning ahead because I want to be consistent, because consistency is the only way to grow. I'm going to cross promote at least 2 times a week on my other socials. I'm on Instagram. You should follow me at thatgirlchristelle. I'm growing. I made a new account just for content, and I'm seeing growth that I've never seen before. I also want 100K on there. So me posting on Instagram and driving traffic to my YouTube, as well as here, this YouTube video telling y'all to go check out my Instagram, that's cross promoting, and that's something that will help me to grow on both platforms. Another tactic I'm going to take is getting inspiration and like education from people I look up to in the space. That means I'm not afraid to invest in a course or a one-on-one session with somebody who I trust and have built a relationship with. That's maybe like once a quarter, I'll have like a one-on-one to take a look at my socials and maybe provide me with ideas and just talk to somebody in the field, maybe get a mentor. Like, these are tactics I can take to become the best creator I can be, so that I can grow by the time I want to grow in the way I want to grow. And that's an example of how we're going to get specific. And then to take it further, you should really be putting the tactics as tasks that you should do. Like with my mentor, we have a weekly list and we put 3 to 5 tasks every day. And to take it even further, it really should be in your actual calendar. Like, you have to get serious. Put it in your calendar. I need to batch create for this time. I need to go to the gym at this time. I need to drink water at this time. I need to reach out and develop this relation. I need to spend intentional time with my family this time. You know, like, if you're serious, you will add the reminders. You will want it up in your face. You will have to be consistent, because I don't want you to watch this video and go back to what you've been doing. I don't want you to, I don't want this to go in one ear and out the other. Like, I really want you to win, and I want myself to win. I'm really speaking to you as I'm speaking to me. Like, you are so capable, and I wish that you knew how capable you are. I wish that you knew how much 6 months of intense focus and discipline would set you so far ahead. I wish you could see how this period of time, you can make more progress than you've made in the past 6 years in these next 6 months. If you just stick to it, if you just trust the process, if you just keep on going. It's hard. It's hard. But life is gonna be hard. You have to adapt, which is gonna take me to the next thing of coming up with some contingency plans, because life do be lifing, okay? If there's anything this year has taught me, is that life do be lifing, but you have to be stronger than your emotions and your feelings. They're not facts. Don't believe every single thought that comes into your brain, because sometimes you spiral and it's hard to differentiate. Is this me spiraling, or am I being a realist, or am I being a pessimist? Make a contingency plan so that you don't get swept up when life be lifing, okay? We claim health, joy, love, peace, prosperity for everybody watching, all your families, but you know, things happen and we have to, the world keeps turning. That's really the most unfortunate truth, is that the world doesn't stop when you're having a bad mental health day. I'm saying you should take the time, but I'm saying that you should try to not take a whole week or a whole month to recover, you know? Like, get the help that you need, obviously. I don't know how to say this, but like, I used to be the person, like, something would blow me and I would be so down bad about it for months. I don't have the time to sulk around over things that are out of my control and to always make myself the person of fault. Like, I don't have the time to do that anymore. I'm not gonna tear myself down anymore for other people's actions. I'm not gonna be like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like, rejection is redirection. Like, being overlooked sometimes can be a blessing. You're being hidden so that you can grind, so that you can pop out and, okay, you know? So it's like, we're fixing our mindset. We're choosing to believe positively in this world where people are going to try and speak negatively towards you. They're gonna try to limit you. Don't limit yourself. Don't be your other. Don't join your haters team. That's crazy work, okay? So anyway, back to having contingency plans. I'm looking at my notes. For me, I have to include God in everything. I can't do this without God. The amount of success and focus and discipline that I need to get through these next 6 months in my entire life, I can't do it without God. You might not believe, but me personally, I believe, and that's the only reason I'm standing. So that's number one. 2, allowing space for the not so pretty stuff. You're not always gonna be like, woo, I'm so motivated, I'm so disciplined, I'm on my Zoom, and I'm amazing. Sometimes you're gonna cry. You're gonna be angry, you're gonna be indifferent, you're gonna be like, what's the point? You're gonna be like, ugh, I'm not making progress, like I'm gonna throw in the towel. Allow space for that, but don't allow yourself to sit there. Prioritize self-care. Make sure, you know, I tell everybody, I say this in almost every video, like, get a therapist. I'm so serious. Stop making excuses. Like, if you're uninsured, there are resources that can help you get vouchers for free. Like, I just really feel like everybody should have a therapist. And if talk therapy isn't for you, research some other forms of therapy that might work, you know? Journaling, or affirmations, like all of these things are tools. You could use meditation, like even just starting your day by stretching and like envisioning a positive day. Like, just make sure that you are filling yourself with positivity and like, you know who you are, because people will try to tell you who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you won't be able to tell them who you are not. So just keep that in mind. Having accountability partners. My mentor, you know her, you love her, you see her in my vlogs, Nelly V, my big sis, my girl. Like, have somebody who's on that same wavelength, who's trying to improve, who values goals and personal development. Like, have somebody like that in your corner who's also on the same journey, so you can keep them accountable, they can keep you accountable, like with the perfect balance of grace and pressure. As I had mentioned earlier, the cliches are all true. I'm about to read a few. Consistency is key. It is. I'm sorry. That might be annoying to hear, but it literally is true. So just be consistent and stop being so annoyed that consistency is key. You have to keep showing up. Even if you slow down, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Just do not stop. You can be going as slow as a turtle. Just do not stop. Because when you stop, it's so hard to start again. And you will start again, but I'm just telling you it's easier if you don't stop. Rest is also essential. In that same breath, like, sometimes you'll get more done by taking a break and coming back at it with a fresh eye, with a fresh perspective. Like, rest is essential to our lives, and it's not like, don't confuse consistency with frequency. Don't think you have to do something every single day. Like, take breaks, recover, rest. Waking up earlier is beneficial. I hate that the early birds, y'all really won, because I'm a night owl, but I'm rebranding because I know the type of person that I want to be. I'm fighting it. Like, I have to wake up earlier, and that's that on that. It's a blessing to enjoy the day, to see a sunrise. So view it like that. Routines are vital to success. The most successful person you know has a routine. So make your routine and stick to it, and stop falling off just because you don't feel like it, just because your bed feels extra comfy, just because you'd rather stay up and talk to that person on the phone. Build that routine and stick to it and have boundaries. Visualize your higher self and show up as them. It'll help so much. Act like you already got it. Do you not know you already have these things? They're just waiting for you to show up and to realize. Like, the mind is so powerful. When you start acting like you already have what you want, and you start identifying as somebody who is a goal-getter, who is healthy, who is a content creator, who is an influencer, who is a business owner, whatever the case may be, when you start showing up as that, it all flows. It's so crazy. Once you get that through your head, things fall in line. Choose to see the glass half full, you know? Choose positivity when you can. That's annoying to hear, but I'm telling you, you have to choose it. You have to hold on to hope. You have to. Trust the process and enjoy the journey. It's gonna be long, accept it. But time is gonna fly anyway, so you might as well enjoy it fall in love with the process. Like, oh wow, might be a bad day, but a bad day is good for the plot. A setback is good for the bounce back. Like, you have to train your mind to view everything like it's all working out for you. Things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. And it's hard when you're crying and you're throwing up and you're watching Netflix to numb the pain, and just, when you're binge watching your favorite TV show, you might have some unhealthy food you're snacking on. It's easier to do that. I'm not saying you can't do that ever, but I'm saying, like, bruh, trust the process, enjoy the journey, and know that your bad days are leading you to the best days of your life. So it's all annoying to hear, but it is true. So I just want to encourage you. I have 2 more points. I know that we've been talking, but we're going to talk about the importance of documenting our progress. We're going to talk about gratitude, and then that's the video. So keep watching. Don't forget to be grateful. Gratitude is everything. We're some of our biggest critics. So, like, you're probably doing better than you think. I know that I said, like, I asked a lot of questions for reflection and accountability, but I don't want you to forget that. I know that you want better for yourself, which is all that matters. Other people may not see or value your progress, but if you see it, that's all that matters. We don't want to be doing stuff for outside validation, but it does feel good. So it's like, if people can't see your progress, low-key, that should make you want to keep on keeping on until they can. Like, we're not doing stuff for outside validation, but it does feel good. And sometimes when you can't see it for yourself and other people can see it, that's even better. So just keep that in mind. Also, realize that it's a blessing to be even focusing on self-improvement and self-development. Some people don't even have their basic needs met. They're worried for their life. They're not secure, they're not safe, they don't have food, they don't have water. Meanwhile, all of those things are meant for us, and we're like, oh, how can I become better? Oh, how can I do this? Like, you have the tools and the resources to become better, and you're at a place in your life where your basic needs are met, so now you're doing that extra stuff. Like, realize that contentment is key, and be grateful that you are where you are in life, because other people don't have it like this. So yeah, that's something that's been really like a sobering thought for me, but something to think about. That's why we should always be grateful. It's not, oh my gosh, I have to. It's, oh, I get to. Oh my gosh, I have to work out. No, I get to move my body. Like, I am able-bodied and I have the ability to move my body. I get to eat healthily, and I get to have the choice of whether or not I put fast food in my body or groceries that I meal prep. Like, I get the choice. Like, I have an option, and I choose the things that are more positive for me. Like, mindset is everything. So don't forget that. Last but not least, document your goals, document your progress, document. You need to have things literally written down. You need to take pictures, you need to reflect, you need to write things down, because your brain will try to play tricks on you. But you need to be like, no, I'm doing better than I think I am, and I can see the progress in my pictures and my videos, and I can see, I have my accountability partner. We talk on a regular, and we're trying our best. Like, have documentation, because it's always good to look back, but it also keeps you grounded when your brain tries to act like you're not doing what you need to do. There was a point where I was tracking my food, and I would like skip a sauce or like not put it in, and you're only kidding yourself if you're documenting things inaccurately. If you have a document, you're like, okay, this month I only worked out twice. At least that's two workouts on the book, but like, come on now, like, document your progress, whether it's good or bad. Like, and you might be able to look back and be like, okay, this was a really rough month, but at least I did this thing 3-4 times. Like, I wanted to do it 10 times, but I'm still on my way. Documenting will help you keep a record, and it gives you something to look at so that you can like have a benchmark, so you can do a progress check, and so you can see how you get better, so you can see the progress literally written out in front of you. Don't procrastinate. I know that's easier said than done, but just set a timer. Even if it's 10-minute timer, like, I'm just gonna do this task right now, that's better than procrastinating. Because I heard a quote that was like, procrastinating is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another chance to do what you know what you're supposed to do. So it's just like, don't be arrogant. Use the time that you have now and go crazy. It's all in you. It's been in you. You're so beyond capable, and you know this. I don't need to affirm you, but let me do that. Like, you're going to achieve your goals. Like, they're not going to be your goals forever. They're going to be your accomplishments, and you have to understand that and walk like that and move like that, because when you get it through your head that you're already there, and that those goals are actually just waiting for you to lock in mentally and to do the work and to stay consistent even when you don't see it, that's when you'll reach your goals. That's really all I had to say, y'all. I really hope that this was helpful. I hope that you received this with love. Like, I'm gonna have to watch this back for myself as a viewer because it's so easy to tell y'all this and to motivate y'all, and sometimes I need that for myself. But I'm wishing you the best. The year is not half wasted. You have so much potential. Like, there's so much more. Even if your year was half wasted, you have so much more time ahead of you. You're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be. And with these steps, I know you're gonna achieve your goals. So in the comments below, I'd love if you drop down anything that resonated with you from this video. Let's make it a safe space. If you need encouragement, let me know. I'm rooting for you. I thank you for believing in me and rooting for me. I absolutely love if you would like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. And as always, much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers to crushing your goals.